Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Ana Karen Perez. On this channel, I cover digital marketing and WordPress. So that's something that you're interested in. Be sure to subscribe to my channel and click that notification bell. Today, I'm going to show you how to create amazing blog posts just like Pat Flynn and Neil Patel. Let's get started. If you don't know, Pat Flynn is an influencer. He generally talks about passive income and passive income strategies. He talks generally about blogging, writing books. He goes over a lot of topics, including podcasting, because he has a very popular podcast. Uh, Neil Patel, on the other hand, is a digital marketer and a digital marketing influencer. Uh, his biggest thing is SEO. So if you're interested in SEO, you should definitely check him out. As well, check out Pat Flynn if you haven't already. I'm pretty sure most of you have because he's very, very popular. So this is a blog post that I just recently put up today, and I want to share it with you guys, go through it, and just show you some of the workflow that I do in order to get blog posts out. Now, my strategy for writing blog posts is heavily influenced by Pat Flynn, Neil Patel, and Create and Go, another blogging influencers online. You should definitely check them out. They're really great when it comes to blogging content. So I've created basically this, formula in order for creating great blog posts. It's been created with their influence, of course, and I just want to show you my 10-step method for really getting great, long, and very informative blog posts out there. Especially if you deal with a lot of writer's block, I know how frustrating that could be. It's something that I deal with a lot, and I use this 10-step method in order to get myself out of writer's block, and I'm really hoping this is going to help you do the same. So here's my 10-step methods to writing a great post like a pro, just like Neil Patel and Pat Flynn. I think this is the way to go for creating the best content for the internet. Alright, so the first thing you want to do is start with your main keyword. Whatever your niche is, pick one keyword and just start there. If you're a dog blogger, then just pick a single keyword, dog. Or in this case, we're going to use the example of puppy, and we'll get to that in just a second. But just pick one keyword and don't go beyond that. Let's move on to step 2. Find out what's transformative about your blog post. This is something I picked up from Pat Flynn in one of his videos. It's going to be in the description box below, so be sure to check out that video. But I really love this tip from Pat Flynn because he talks about how you should tell your reader how you're going to transform them through your blog post. And what he means by that is as simple as, what promise do you give to your reader early on that'll make them stay throughout your blog post? What makes them want to read it? Or what are they going to get out of it specifically? What is the intent? So if you have to really think about what they're going to get out of your blog post. The third step is creating your title. Don't go beyond writing your title. The title is the most important part of your blog post. You also, and number 4, you want to create a single sentence. This is going to be your hook and what's going to entice your readers to continue to read. It's also going to be kind of like your pledge. What do you pledge to deliver to your readers? What do you promise that you're going to deliver to them? At number 5, you're going to create a mind map. This is where you go beyond that title and you expand your ideas into subheaders and to other maybe longer tail keywords. You can get very creative with that mind map. Again, we're going to cover this in just a bit. And number 6, you want to make your page skimmable with subtitles, images, graphics, videos, whatever it is that is going to help create a picture that'll go along with your blog post. Some people are very visual learners, so you definitely want to include those visual elements into your blog post. Number 7, you need to fill in the blanks. At this point is when you finally start to create those paragraphs. I think the biggest mistake when beginning to write is that people start with the paragraphs, and that's not what you want to do. You want to structure your blog post first and then get into the paragraphs. Okay, and number 8, you want to add bullet points whenever applicable. Bullet points is a great way to structure your blog post, especially if you're listing things. Trust me, it's going to help your readers a lot to see bullet points. At number 9, I highly recommend that you write an in conclusion at the end of with a summary of your blog post. This is going to definitely help wrap up everything, and it makes it very easy for your navigators sorry about navigators, for your readers to navigate through your pages. Oh my gosh. All right, and at number 10, structure the blog post in WordPress and use Grammarly Chrome extension to revise any mistakes. I love Grammarly. If you haven't heard of it, it's a really cool software that goes in with your with Chrome, and it helps you edit on the fly. It gives you all these recommendations. If you have any misspellings, if you're using improper grammar, anything like that, then it'll definitely help you out. I love it because my grammar can be terrible sometimes, especially when I'm writing in a rush. Alright, so now I'm going to show you how to find your keyword and create your header. Remember I told you to get a single keyword? Well, now we're going to definitely put that into practice right now. Alright, so here I have Pinterest open, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to just type in the word puppy. You can see I did it earlier. Just puppy. And as you can see, more words have come up here because Pinterest works like a search engine, so it gives you all kinds of suggestions, just the way Google would, but specifically for Pinterest. So now that you put in puppy training, you can see all of these different things that you can add to your keyword. So you can add obedience, pit bull, biting, potty, tips. So, and see how it just expanded your keyword from a single word to a longer tail keyword? We're going to use that. And definitely be sure to look through all of the blog posts here to get suggestions on what you can write about. Maybe get some definitely you can get more inspiration for what you're going to write. See what other people are putting out there, what's popular, what's not, and really benefit from that. All right, so now moving on to the next thing. Here I explain what short tail versus long tail keyword is. Short tail keyword, I put a little example of a pug, so because pugs have little tails. All right, and an example of that would be a puppy. You know, short tail keywords are going to be very hard to rank for because everyone's going to be wanting to rank for the word puppy. Long tail keyword is more defined. I put an example of a golden retriever because it has a longer tail. Get it? Alright, so an example of that's going to be puppy training tips. This is going to be a phrase that's longer and very specific, so less people are going to be trying to rank for it on Google. So definitely you want to nail in on those longer tail keywords because they're going to be less competitive, and as long as you write great content and you use tools like Yoast to help you out and really nailing in this keyword, then you'll definitely be ranking in the future. All right, so here I go over the example that I just showed you. Now I'm going to show you some additional tools outside of Pinterest that are going to help you define this keyword and turn it into a header. Let me show you. Alright, so the next tool I want to really show you is this one. It's called Google Trends. It's a very popular tool. I'm pretty sure a lot of you have heard of it. But let's go ahead and type in puppy training tips, because that's what we got out of our other search on Pinterest. So you get to see here that it's good overall. It has its ups and downs, but it's not something that's that over time is gonna change and all of a sudden people are not gonna be interested in this. It seems that for quite a while people have been very interested in this. Let's go ahead and put 2004 to present. And again, it seems very, very consistent throughout. There's ups and downs. I guess there's a peak at one point when people were very interested in this. But overall, it looks like it's going to be consistent throughout. You can also see here different regions where it's popular, different things that you can definitely incorporate into your blog post, or maybe even further define your blog post into a different kind of keyword, like potty training a puppy, puppy crate training tips, crate training puppy, toilet training, dog crate, housebreaking, biting, German Shepherd, dog breed. These are all things that you can work into your long tail keyword. And again, this is all information coming from Google, so this is definitely the place to start. Next, we have Answer the Public. This is a really great tool that I love using. Here you can see I've already searched puppy training tips, but of course you can also go to new search and put in whatever you want. So let's go ahead and put that again, puppy training tips, and let's get the questions. These are things that people frequently ask on Google. So you want to put in your keyword. In this case, I put puppy training tips, and you want to see what people are asking with this keyword. You get these really cool graphics, how, which. You can click on these and play with this, of course. Again, these are all this is really cool stuff. Puppy training tips for pit bulls, puppy training tips for the first week, puppy training tips for sleeping. There's a lot more keywords. And then again, you should definitely spend your time playing with this tool. It's free to use, so it has a lot of great content. I love to use this. So here's more. I like to scroll down to the bottom and see these. Puppy training tips and tricks. Puppy training tips at night. Puppy training tips at home. And you can just go on and build your header and whatever your content's going to be around this tool. It's just another very, very good tool I love to use. All right, up next, this is BuzzSumo. This is heavily recommended by Neil Patel, and I'm going to explain why he heavily recommends this tool. It's, again, one of my favorite tools to use. So what you're going to do is you're just going to go ahead up here to search, and you're going to put in your keyword, puppy training tips, click search, and these are the most shared blog posts around that topic. So be sure to put in your keywords and see who's sharing and why they're sharing. Look into this content and see why they're sharing and gain inspiration for your header. Tips for house training a puppy in the winter. Puppy training obedience train tips and advice. Hillspin. That's kind of a interesting header, but it worked for them. Just look at how many shares this has. It has 326 just in Facebook alone, 12 on Pinterest. If you know how to dominate one of these platforms, then really, really focus on that. I can definitely show you how you can get a lot more shares than 12. Then I could show you how to rank on Pinterest. If that's something you're interested in, because I've gotten over 100 shares just on Pinterest alone on any given blog post. So that's something you're interested in, please comment below. Let me know that you're interested in me showing you how to rank and how to get way more shares and how to pretty much beat these guys for these kinds of keywords. Be sure to check this tool out. It's another free one, but you do have to register for a free account. That's BuzzSumo. And up next we have CoSchedule / headline analyzer. I have it in my blog post. So all these links I have in my blog post. Be sure to check out the blog post and click on them and just start playing with them because they're so great. So CoSchedule is gonna show you just how possibly successful your the likelihood that your header is going to be successful. And in this case, this is a terrible header. So you definitely want to add this. So puppy training tips for new, let's say dog moms, because some people call themselves dog moms. So let's see if this is anything better. All right, so you can see just by adding a few things to this header, you've already increased your likelihood of getting a higher click-through rate and also ranking in Google. So this is a really cool tool. So puppy trainings is for new dog moms. Let's think of another one. Very simple puppy training tips for new, let's try this again, for new dog moms. Let's try it again, see how it scores. Hey, and it did 1 point better, just 1 point better, but at least you know that you're heading in the right direction. That's what I want to show you with these tools. Again, these are on the blog post that they're going to be in the description box below. So be sure to click on each of the links and experiment with them. They're a lot of fun to use. They're as simple as I showed you, and they will definitely get you on the road to creating great headers and definitely creating great content. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on. The next thing is that you want to transform the reader and give them a pledge. You want to promise them something with your title and your first sentence. What are they going to get out of reading your blog post? Using the example of the puppy training tips, these are 3 little examples that I came up with. Training a puppy doesn't have to be a long and complicated process. We've got the best strategies to help you train your puppy in a few easy steps. Another example will be, you'll never believe how easy it is to train a puppy. We've summed up the easiest ways to train your puppy. And another example would be, we're going to show you how to train your puppy fast in the fast and easiest way, or something like that. This was just an example. I need to fix that grammar mistake. All right, so here's what you should have at this point: your title and a sentence that should entice your reader to keep reading. I bet at this time you're kind of thinking, well, you know, what good is this? I thought you were going to show me how to create long and informative content, not this short stuff. But let me tell you that your header and that pledge are the most important part of your entire blog post. If you don't get the click, you don't have a reader. And if you don't have a hook, your reader's going to bounce, and that's going to really hurt your stats long term. You don't want somebody to bounce, and you definitely want to be getting those clicks. Without those clicks, you have no audience, and unfortunately it's like you have no blog. So focus and spend the most time dedicated to your header and your pledge. Your header, why they should click, and your pledge, why they should read. Now, this is the part that gets fun. This is when you're finally going to start filling in your page. And this is way easier, and I'm going to tell you, don't spend too much time worrying about this part. Just let it out. Just start writing. The first thing, and my favorite tool, again recommended by Pat Flynn, is get post-it notes and just start writing on each one different subheaders, maybe other topics that are beneath your header topic. So if it's training, well, maybe write different tips for training, different strategies, write what people should or shouldn't do. Here are some examples, just from off the top of my head. How to get your puppy to understand commands, using treats as a reward, what not to do when training your puppy, and just brainstorm and make a map with all of these post-it notes, and just expand on your ideas, and and then just start organizing them as to how you're going to present this to your reader. All right, now you're gonna actually start typing into your computer. You want to make this page skimmable with subtitles, images, graphics, illustration, anything for those visual readers. Some people are not, they're not the happiest at seeing tons of text. So you want to break up the page, have a large header, smaller subheaders, images, graphics, videos, all of the good stuff. Your page should start looking more like this at this point. Now it's starting to fill with more content. You have your large header, you have your pledge, you have your subheader, and some images. This is a great start. It's going to become easier and easier to fill in the gaps very soon. And what I recommend is keeping paragraphs very short, bite-sized. Neil Patel's rule is no more than 3 lines. I broke that here. I put in a 4th, but it's only like half a line. So you definitely want to make these very bite-sized, very digestible for those people who are more visual. And also you want to make it very skimmable. So you definitely see how I'm using subheaders, bullet points, and you can definitely list like this: cheese, bread, milk, potato, all in one line, or you can break it into these right here, bullet points, and it makes it easier for people to take them in and understand that that's a list, and that's something that they should put attention to. And you definitely want to write an in conclusion and name it that. Don't call it something else. Don't call it a summary or don't call it anything. I highly recommend that you call it an in conclusion at the end of your blog post. This is a suggestion by Neil Patel, and I love it because some people may see the entirety of your blog post, skim through it, and think to themselves, do I really, really, really want to read this? Am I going to spend the next 5, 10, 15 minutes reading your post? So what they'll do is they'll skim through it, go to your conclusion, and just take in that summary. And if they like it, in that case, they'll go back to whatever parts that they're interested in and read your blog post. And this is really going to retain your readers for longer periods of time. And that is definitely what you want in order to rank in the future. If you're planning on ranking, then Google definitely takes into consideration bounce rate. You want to retain your readers as long as possible. And having an in conclusion is going to give you major points with your readers. Now, finally, it's time to get in to take your post and put it into WordPress. Also, on a side note, I highly recommend WordPress. It's the best platform for bloggers. I have a billion reasons why. I'll promise I'll get into that in another video. But for this video, I want to continue to talk about things that you should include in your blog post. Title H1 headings, subheadings H2, H3 headings. You know, these are the small. H1 is a very large titles, and H2 and H3 are the smaller titles that you see. For example, this in conclusion is an H3, and however, the very top title tag, let me show you. This one right here is an H1, so the sizes are very different, and these right here are like H4, so they're even smaller, maybe different color. They have different characteristics, I guess. And so you want to include those titles, subheading, bullet points, images, illustrations, graphic videos, all that really good stuff. Have it a font that is very easy to read. Don't go using fancy fonts, and try to stick to Google Fonts because that's generally the platform everyone's on. Everyone's on Google's search engine, so you definitely want to be using their fonts. They're not as fancy as maybe for instance, Adobe or other people who produce fonts, but let me tell you, you definitely want to stick to simpler fonts that everyone will be able to read. Be sure to use a lot of bold and italics. As you can see here, I'm using bold and italics to emphasize what I want to get across to the reader and really guide the reader's eyes to those words. So, as you see here, I have an in conclusion. By the end of these 10 steps, your blog post should look more like this. This is just an example. I should have an image. Here it has a title tag. Here it has a pledge, and the subheaders and some text right here. Keeping these paragraphs very short. Just by glancing at this, you can already see the structure of the post, and that's what you want. Alright guys, that's pretty much all the time I have for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If there's any more content that you want from me or want me to explain anything a bit better, comment below, ask me any questions. In the description, I'm going to have videos to Neil Patel and Pat Flynn, pretty much the ones that gave me inspiration to write this post and create this 10-step formula for creating great posts just like they write. And until next time, guys, be sure to subscribe and click that notification bell if you're interested in more content like this. Until next time, guys, see you then.